Come on in, step right up, and gather around. This story is gonna be a good one. It is the story of the man who went by the nickname Tatsumaki in his native Japan. That word in English means tornado. And indeed, this will be the story of the Tatsumaki's unconventional rise to NPB and later Major League stardom, and the impact that his unconventional style had on pitching as we know it in 2021. This is the story of Hideo Nomo on this week's episode of Global Baseball's Finest. Story begins in the bustling seaside area of Minato Ward in Osaka, with a very quiet and solitary young boy, born to a postman and a grocery store cashier. He and his father loved baseball, and he developed his famous motion from one particularly rambunctious evening game of catch. He was skilled as he got older, but went undrafted in the NPB draft in 1987, and took up a post in the industrial leagues. He did, however, manage to make the Olympic team, and led the 1988 Japan national baseball team to a silver medal, thereby telling the world the name of Hideo Nomo. His performance in the Olympics earned him a roster spot on the Kintetsu Buffaloes in 1989, where he and his forkball became infamous throughout Japan, borderline unhittable. He won a Sawamura Award, a Pacific League MVP, a Rookie of the Year, and the pitching Triple Crown in 1990. However, in 1994, he had a contract dispute with the Buffaloes, and thanks to some creative and, I assure you, entirely legal business tactics by his agent Don Nomura, he retired from NPB and posted himself to Major League teams in 1995, where it didn't take long for the Los Angeles Dodgers to sign him and allow him to be the first Japanese-born pitcher to make his debut in Major League Baseball since Masanori Murakami in 1965. He had a 13-year career in MLB, making an All-Star appearance in 1995 for winning the Rookie of the Year and leading the National League in strikeouts. He threw 2 no-hitters, finishing with 123 wins and 1,918 career strikeouts. Of course, as his career went on, hitters figured him out, and his numbers turned sour, but he will be remembered by everyone who saw him pitch, and he made a massive impact on both MLB and NPB from 1989 through 2008. His unique tornado windup hid the ball to the point that seeing it before it came out of his hand was nigh impossible for both NPB and MLB hitters. He also had a habit of sleeping with a tennis ball in the early days of his time in professional baseball to hone and perfect his forkball grip, ultimately turning it into his 2-strike pitch with effectiveness numbers that were absolutely implausible. At his peak, he was able to throw 6 pitches to form his arsenal: a 4-seam fastball, a splitter, a forkball, a changeup, a slider, and of course, the curveball. That's enough talking, though. Let's take a look at what kind of movement the tornado windup creates, and what was it about this strange and fascinating motion that made Nomo's pitching so effective. It's time once again to head to the field.
Now, as you might recall, if you watched last week's episode on Che Dongwan, which I'll link in the thing up there, he pulled his leg all the way back to 6 o'clock in his pitching delivery. However, he kept his body mostly parallel in a normal pitching motion, just using the leg as some extra torque. Here, we almost have a full spin all the way around. So if we start, we get set like normal, but in the tornado windup, we're going to pull ourselves all the way back around here. Now, as you can probably guess, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, there are a number of very important and useful benefits to having the ball all the way back here when you're winding up. In a normal windup, basically the minute the ball comes out of the glove, you have a decent amount of time as a hitter to register what pitch might be coming. But if you don't see it until you get here, that is valuable fractions of seconds that are missing in your time to guess the pitch and make a decision accordingly as a hitter. And especially if you've got 2 strikes on you and you're going up against the forkball, I mean, you have no chance. Forkball has such a late release on the downward snap of the wrist. It's almost impossible to register when it's coming until it's right on top of you. Now the secondary benefit, doing our full turnaround windup here, is an amplified version of Jae Dong-won's leg pull. As opposed to getting our snap, we're basically going to get almost a 360-degree snap as we're going into our motion if we pull ourselves all the way back, almost facing second base. It's trickier to control, and that's why Nomo had control issues, but ultimately, oh my goodness, my balance is terrible. Ultimately, it's going to create an unpredictability that is almost impossible to quantify as a hitter. And in that first year, in 1995, that factor, that unpredictability, is what made Hideo Nomo the juggernaut that he was. Now then, time to put it together.
2 strikes on you, he goes to his forkball, which is his bread and butter pitch to try and strike you out. He also has a curveball of the Florida Marlins.
Strike 3 call. That was take number 4. And the take that will ultimately make it into the video is the one where I ended up having to throw the curveball because the forkball, I just can't seem to find a way to control it. But I guess that's what makes Hideo Nomo an expert and me a poor catcher. But I think that's going to wrap it up. It's about to come down hard from those big thunderclouds up there. So let's kick it back to the studio and wrap it up.
Nomo's determination, creativity, and presence of mind made him one of the most feared pitchers in the world for 13 years. He's a testament to what can happen when you develop unique abilities to reach the highest heights of baseball when traditional doors close to you. And that, unfortunately, will bring us to the end of another story in the history of global baseball's finest. We do hope you're enjoying this series here on the channel. We love making them for you so far, and we're looking forward to making even more as the weeks go on. It is the most fun that we've had making content for you in our young YouTube career, but they will be coming out on Tuesdays from here on out. Just makes for a little bit more efficient use of our schedule during the week, and it'll allow for a little bit more planning time to make these videos even better than hopefully they already are. Again, as we say every video, please do like and share this video if you enjoyed it, and you know somebody who would enjoy it right along with you. Subscribe and hit that bell icon down beneath the video screen here to make sure that you are getting your daily fix all about the world's greatest game. I've been Marshall Emmert. This has been Global Baseball's Finest that you can find only on the Global Baseball Network. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, but for now, that's the game.